If you want mainline access, quick Philadelphia convenience, and neighborhood that feels established without feeling disconnected, Bala Cynwyd is one of the first places people tend to look. It sits right on the edge of the city, but it reads very differently once you are here. I'm Mila, and I specialize in helping buyers and sellers in the Philadelphia suburbs, including the main line. If you are seriously considering buying or selling, I would love to help you put together a personalized game plan. There is a phone number in the description. Call or text me. Bala Cynwyd sits right on the border of Philadelphia. It has its own train line, stone houses from the 1880s, a hiking trail that drops you into the city, and price points that still make a lot of sense compared to some of its neighbors further out on the main line. Bala Cynwyd is in Low Merion Township in Montgomery County, right along the western edge of Philadelphia. It's part of the mainline conversation, but it also has its own identity because of how close it is to the central city, the Schuylkill Corridor, and City Avenue. Low Merion's history dates back to the 1600s, and Bala Cynwyd reflects that older settlement pattern mixed with later suburban growth. From a location standpoint, this is one of the Bala Cynwyd's strongest practical advantages. SEPTA's Bala Station and Cynwyd Station both serve the area on the Cynwyd line, and SEPTA identifies both as ADA accessible stations. The area also connects quickly to major roads, including the Schuylkill Expressway corridor, which is one reason people keep it on their short list when they want to relatively direct access to Philadelphia and nearby mainline communities. And because Bala Cynwyd sits so close to both city and suburban-oriented amenities, it often shows up in searches from buyers who want convenience without giving up a more established residential setting. That doesn't mean every block feels the same, but it does mean the location has a lot of practical reach. One of the first things you notice here in the Bala Cynwyd does not feel one note. You'll find apartment and condo options, attached and semi-attached housing in the same area, and detached single-family homes ranging from more modest traditional properties to larger stone colonials, Tudors, and estate-style homes. Local historical material also point to the long pattern of varied housing types tied to rail access and 20th century suburban development. On the pricing side, the market has is meaningful but relatively accessible for the main line. Single-family homes price generally range from mid 400 into 700,000 and above, depending on size, condition, and whether you are looking at smaller vintage home or a fully updated larger property. Condominiums and townhomes tends to start below those prices points, which gives a range of entry options that you don't always find deeper into the mainline. The home ownership rate here is high, around 78%, which tells you something about how people feel about putting down roots in this community. And with the proximity to the city, the demand has remained consistent over time. The overall visual character tends to feel mature and established. Streets are often lined with older trees. Many homes sit on the lot with more landscaping than you would typically find close into the city. And in certain sections, you get that classic old main line architecture that buyers specifically go looking for. The district operates multiplex schools across Low Merion Township. For students in Bala Cynwyd specifically, the typically pathway includes Cynwyd Elementary School and Belmont Hills Elementary School at the primary level, followed by Bala Cynwyd Middle School, which is located right here in the community on Bryn Mawr Avenue. For high school, students generally attend either Low Merion High School in Ardmore or Heritage High School in Rosamond, depending on their address. The Low Merion School District has a long-standing public record. It was established in 1834 and is one of the oldest public school systems in Pennsylvania. The district itself administers more than 8,700 students across the 10 schools. District-level information, including program details, boundaries, and enrollment, is publicly available on the Low Merion School District website. There are also several private school options in and around the area. Merion Mercy Academy is a nearby Catholic school for girls. Collet Yeshiva High School is located in the community. The French International School of Philadelphia, which offers bilingual French-English education from pre-kindergarten through 8th grade, is also based here. And St. Joseph University's Hawk Hill campus sits just to the south. If education options matter to your decision, I would encourage you to visit the district's website and call individual schools directly. That's the most accurate source of current information. You also have nearby higher education presence in the broader area, including institutions along and near the City Avenue corridor, which adds to the mixed use and institutional feel of this part of the mainline edge. Bala Cynwyd does not have a downtown in the same way that Ardmore, Narberth, or Wayne do. There is two main commercial corridors in the community. The first is along Bala Avenue at Montgomery Avenue. This is actually listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Some of those commercial buildings date back to the early 1800s. You'll find a mix of independently owned shops, boutiques, small restaurants, and services. The Bala Theatre, a historic landmark on its own right, is part of the streetscape. The second corridor extends south along Montgomery Avenue into what's known as the Merion Cynwyd Commercial District, a stretch of delis, coffee shops, bakeries, and restaurants that gives the area a genuine neighborhood feel. This isn't a strip mall built in the 1980s. These corridors have been active for over the century. Close in, there is still neighborhood serving businesses and restaurants in Bala Cynwyd itself. For everyday earners, Bala Plaza is the primary shopping center. You'll find a grocery store, pharmacy, and range of services, the kind of practical convenience you want close to the home. Target, Acme Markets, CVS, and Michaels are all in the immediate area. And when you want more, Suburban Square in Ardmore is just a few minutes away, a high-end outdoor shopping destination with restaurants, boutiques, and events. City Avenue along the eastern border offers additional retail, fitness centers, and national chains. King of Prussia is accessible in under 20 minutes for larger retail needs. For outdoor space, one of the standout amenities is the Kingwood Heritage Trail. Lowell Merion describes it as a 2-mile recreational multi-use trail running from Kingwood Station to the Menayang Viaduct. And on the Balmont Avenue with both paved and soft surface sections. That trail gives Bala Cynwyd a real recreational asset and also adds some scenic appeal that people do not always expect when they first think about this location. Beyond the trail, the community has 4 local parks managed by Lowell Merion Township. Bala Cynwyd Park has playgrounds and tennis courts. Flat Rock Park sits along the Schuylkill River and offers access for fishing and kayaking. Pincoid Trail runs alongside the river as well. West Laurel Hill Cemetery, one of the historic rural cemeteries of the region, is also located here, and is genuinely worth a walk. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and has become a destination for its landscape design and history. And if you want more green space, Fairmont Park is right across the river, accessible either by trail or a short drive. The dining scene in and immediately around Bala Cynwyd is solid. Along Montgomery Avenue and Bala Avenue, you'll find independent restaurants, delis, coffee shops, and cafes that regularly return to week after week. The Lenten Kitchen, located near the Schuylkill, is known for its riverside setting as seasonal menu. Further afield, Ardmore, Norbers, Menayang, and Central City are all within easy reach, which means your dining options essentially extended across the entire main line and into the city. Transportation is a major reason buyers consider Bala Cynwyd. You have 2 nearby SEPTA regional rail stations on the Kingwood line, and the area also connects quickly to major roadways. If someone works in Central City, University City, along City Avenue, or needs regional access by car, Bala Cynwyd often stays in the conversation because it can reduce some of the friction of day-to-day movement. That said, the transportation story here is not one-dimensional. Easy access is plus, but it can also mean certain roads feel busy, especially around City Avenue and commuting routes. So part of the decision is figuring out whether you want to be tracked deeper into the residential streets or closer to the convenience of the main corridors. In Bala Cynwyd, that location choice can change the day-to-day feel pretty quickly. If walkability is at the top of your list, this is also where expectations matter. Some sections are easier for errands, dining, on station access than others, but Bala Cynwyd generally feels more like location defined by strategic convenience than by one compact, classic downtown grid. The first things buyers should know is that Bala Cynwyd is really a collection of micro-locations. 2 homes with the same zip code can deliver a pretty different experience, depending on whether they sit near City Avenue, closer to the trail and stations, or farther into the residential sections. So this is not a place I would elevate only by online photos or even by quick drive-through. Second, the housing stocks is broad enough that you need to clear plan before you start touring. If you want to condo with condo exterior maintenance that exists here. If you want an older detached home with character, that exists too. If you want a more substantial property at a higher price point, that also exists. The challenge is less about whether Bala Cynwyd has options and more about whether the specific packet matches your priorities. Third, buyers should think honestly about trade-offs. Bala Cynwyd can offer excellent regional access, established housing, parks, and useful amenities, but some people may prefer a more village-style downtown feel, and others may care more about being as close as possible to major roads and city access. Neither is right or wrong. It just depends on how you plan to live day to day. And finally, because this is Low Merion Township, it's worth doing the normal due diligence carefully. Confirm school assignment, review taxes, look closely at lot layout and traffic pattern, and compare one section of Bala Cynwyd against another, rather than assuming the whole area functions exactly the same way. Bala Cynwyd is smaller and more compact than some communities, further out on the main line. At 2.7 square miles, this is not sprawling suburb. Lot sizes tend to be modest compared to estates further west. Of length and privacy and new primary criteria, there is other communities in Montgomery County that may offer more. Inventory can be competitive here because demand is real and the housing stock doesn't turn over quickly. The homeownership rate is high, which is generally a sign of stability, but it also means when good homes comes on the market, they don't sit long. If you are planning to buy here, you want to be genuinely prepared, pre-approved, decisive, and working with someone who knows when things are coming. And on the cost of living generally, Bala Cynwyd sits about 43% above the national average for living costs. That worth factoring into your planning alongside the purchase price itself. So, if you're looking for mainline location with quick Philadelphia access, a mix of housing types, established streets, parks, and trail access, and practical convenience, Bala Cynwyd is absolutely a place worth seeing in person. It may not feel exactly like every other mainline time, and that is a part of the markets. It's interesting. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Bala Cynwyd or anywhere on the main line or in the Philadelphia suburbs, reach out to me. I would be happy to help you think through the neighborhoods, compare your options, and build a strategy that fits what you actually need.